Which handheld gaming console is worth your money in 2025? Alright, so I've spent the last few weeks living with three of the biggest handheld gaming devices of 2025, the Valve Steam Deck OLED, the ASUS ROG Ally X, and MSI's brand new Claw. And after hours of gaming, battery testing, tweaking settings, and just overall daily use, I have some strong opinions. If you're wondering which one is actually worth buying, stick around, because this is my real experience. No fluff, just facts. First impressions and build quality. So first things first, how do these feel in the hands? Because let's be real, if a handheld isn't comfortable to use for hours, does anything else even matter? The Steam Deck. OLED feels exactly how I remember the original. Big, but surprisingly comfortable. Valve nailed the ergonomics. Those deep contoured grips make it easy to hold. And even after a long session, I didn't get any cramps. It's got those signature trackpads, which at first might seem unnecessary, but trust me, they make navigating certain games way easier. The new OLED model is slightly lighter than the original, but honestly, it's still a chunky device. Not the most portable thing in the world, but it feels premium. The ROG Ally X, on the other hand, feels more like a next-gen Xbox controller with a screen slapped on. ASUS refined the design from the original Ally, making it more balanced in weight and more comfortable to hold for extended periods. The rounded grips actually feel really nice, and the face buttons and thumbsticks feel just right. It's a very premium-feeling handheld, though it doesn't have trackpads like the Deck, which might be a downside for some. Now, the MSI Claw. This one took me by surprise. I expected it to be just a copy-paste of the Ally, but MSI actually put in some thoughtful details. It's slightly wider, has a bit more RGB lighting, which I don't mind, but some might, and it includes a fingerprint scanner for quick login. The Claw also has Hall effect joysticks, which means no stick drift, huge plus. But right away, I noticed something. It's a bit heavier in the wrong places. The weight distribution just doesn't feel as natural as the Deck or the Ally, and after long play sessions, I found myself adjusting my grip a lot more. Gaming performance. Alright, let's talk about actual gaming. Specs are cool, but how do these things perform when you're deep into a game? The Steam Deck OLED has the least powerful hardware on paper, but here's the thing, it doesn't matter as much as you'd think. Why? Because Valve optimizes everything for the Deck. Most games automatically adjust to run at 800p, which means you don't need as much raw power to get smooth performance. On top of that, Valve's Proton compatibility layer makes running Windows games on Linux surprisingly seamless. AIA games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Elden Ring run great, usually around 40 to 60 FPS, with medium settings and FSR enabled. It's not a performance monster, but it's incredibly consistent. Then there's the ROG Ally X, and let me just say, this thing is a beast. With that AMD Zen 1 Extreme chip and RDNA 3 graphics, it just crushes the competition in terms of raw power. Cyberpunk 2077 at 1080p medium settings, easily hitting 60 FPS. Spider-Man Remastered, over 90 FPS with FSR. The Ally X is also the only one here with a 120Hz refresh rate. So if you love high frame rates, this is the one. However, it's Windows-based, meaning you might need to tweak settings more often than you would on the Deck. Now, the MSI Claw, yeah, this is where things get frustrating. It's the first handheld using Intel's Core Ultra processor with ARC graphics. And honestly, the software and drivers just aren't there yet. Some games run okay, but others, unplayable. I tried Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the frame rate was all over the place. Forza Horizon 5, lower than expected performance compared to the Ally, and the worst part? Some games just wouldn't launch at all without major troubleshooting. It feels like a device that was rushed to market, and right now I can't recommend it over the Ally unless you just love MSI or really want to support Intel's Arc GPUs. Battery life and real-world use. Battery life. This is where things really start to get interesting. The Steam Deck OLED got a nice battery upgrade from the previous model, now sitting at 50 watt-hours. In real-world gaming, I got anywhere from 3 to 7 hours, depending on the game. If I was just playing Stardew Valley or Hollow Knight, I could push 8+ hours easy. But if I fired up Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, 2.5 hours tops. Still, Valve's power optimization is solid, and you can tweak settings to extend playtime. Now, the ROG Ally X. ASUS doubled the battery size from the original model, and it shows. I easily got 5 to 6 hours in most games, and even demanding AAA titles didn't kill it in under 3 hours. That's a huge improvement over the first Ally, which was notorious for dying quickly. If battery life is important to you, the Ally X is the best option. As for the MSI Claw, sigh. Even with its 53 watt-hour battery, it has the worst battery life of the three. Intel's chips just aren't optimized well yet, and in heavy games, I was barely getting 2 hours. Sometimes, even less. It's not great, and that alone makes it hard to recommend. Software and overall experience. Alright, so how does it actually feel to live with these things day to day? The Steam Deck OLED is by far the most user-friendly of the three. SteamOS feels like a console experience. Boot it up, go straight into your game library, and play. It's simple. No bloatware, no Windows nonsense, just pure gaming. If you just want something that works, this is it. The ROG Ally X is more of a Windows PC in your hands, which is both good and bad. You get access to everything: Steam, Epic, Game Pass, emulators, but navigating Windows with a touchscreen can be annoying. ASUS's Armory Crate software helps a bit, but you'll still need to deal with the occasional Windows update or weird pop-up. Then there's the MSI Claw. And look, I really wanted to love this thing, but MSI software is just not ready. Games don't run as well as they should, Intel's drivers are a mess, and I found myself troubleshooting more than actually playing. If you're okay with that, fine. But for most people, I just can't recommend it over the Steam Deck, or Ally. So that's my take after testing these out. Let me know which one you're leaning towards in the comments. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Links to all three are in the description below. Happy gaming!